So, where were we? Good evening, Darkrai. Hello, Yura. Good morning, Blade Taval. Oh, this is what we call the headache morning. Wow. Come on. Oh my god. This crab is gonna kill me. Oh my god. This crab is actually gonna kill me. This crab killed me. Okay. It's okay, Darkrai. It's probably something they tutorialize pretty early on in the actual game, but I haven't played Pokemon Violet. My niece has. So that's why I was like, ugh, the entire time. You know, I meant to do this off camera, but I just did not have time. I'm sorry. I haven't even finished moving the couch yet. You ever move a couch by yourself? It's a thing. Which I can do, of course, because it's me. But it's still a thing. Because I'm not an idiot. Like, some people are like, oh yeah, I got this, yeah! And then, you know, they'll hurt themselves, or they'll think they're moving, or they'll tear something, or, yeah, whatever. No. You gotta do it properly. Which means you gotta do it slowly. Who is shooting at me? I've updated the HUD. Speaking of which, let me double check that. Let's see. Oh my god, Blade Taval. So the reason I find that funny is we've already turned down the volume on this game twice. Hell, I, on my end, actually have it at 20% volume because it's so loud. I mean, at this point, why don't we just mute the damn thing? Because that's kind of where we're getting with that. Oh, looking up. I was just gonna go look up something. Here it is. Okay. So let's see. Story pluses. We're up to 5 up here. No story negatives so far. Gameplay positives. We're up to 6, actually. Gameplay negatives. We're down here. And that's where the score is right now. I do get that question all the time, Matthew. So yes, first of all, before I answer you directly, I have a website. The whole purpose of the website is so that people can go check and see what the upcoming schedule is and all sorts of fun stuff like that. You know, in general, the idea is if you have any questions about future games or future streams or whatever, the website is always going to answer your question on that. Now, I'm not going to force you to go to it. I'm just telling you, and also anybody who happens to be watching this VOD, for future purposes. Having said that, so the Baldur's Gate 3 run is currently on pause for 2 reasons. First of all, and most obviously, the fact that we don't like to stream brand new games the moment they come out because of many, many reasons, not the least of which being patches, and people not wanting to watch the stream, or don't. That's cool. God, I hate this goddamn game. Words. I just lost all my words. So, generally speaking, I apparently cannot talk while playing this game because this game is so terrible. We don't like to... There's a whole line of thought that goes into that, whether or not you want to play a game the moment it comes out, or whether you want to wait a little bit of time first. Most streamers are like, oh man, we got to play that game the second it comes out. We got to play the beta. We got to play the alpha. I don't agree with that in general. It certainly is a good way to get some attention, but not really. It only works for people who are already big. It's something that is, the big time streamers will do because, hey, that's something they can get away with. Little streamers like me, dinky little corner specks of the internet kind of people, that actually is detrimental to us because even though lots of people are streaming Baldur's Gate 3 right now, if you go, if some rando who is not a regular viewer goes to Twitch to watch Baldur's Gate 3, what they're going to find is they're going to find dozens, if not hundreds of people. The saturation is higher. So nobody's going to find me except by random chance. It is actually a higher likelihood that someone will find me if I'm streaming it after the iron has already cooled, so to speak. Point number one. Point number two is it allows players a chance to go ahead and play the game themselves, and so that way they can either watch my stream and not be spoiled, or be able to participate in the stream because now they know what's going on. And point number three is what Darkrai and Blade Chaval both mentioned in chat right now, which is allowing patches to come in. Because at this point in history, even good games tend to launch buggy, including Baldur's Gate 3, by the way. So, for all those reasons, we tend to not stream games the moment they come out. And yeah, Lord knows I have a hell of a track record for finding bugs in these kind of things. Anyways. Oh, and just to get it across here, you can also type in !next into chat, and that'll get you a direct link to the next few things we're playing and in what order. Yeah, there's a reason day one patches have become standard operating procedure lately, and I don't agree with it, but that's because the corporate side of people are very, very stupid. Go left? What the hell was that? Go left. It's the second time it's like, no, I'm not going to go left. For those of you not familiar with it, the reason that day one patches are so prolific nowadays is actually kind of a compromise. So, obviously executives are dumb and stupid and insist on certain release dates when it comes to everything. Whether it's a game, book, movie, show, doesn't matter. Those release dates are set by things that have nothing to do with the product in question. Nothing. It's not because they think that's when it's done. It's not because they think that's when it would be a good release window for it. It's because that's when it would be advantageous to do, usually for financial reasons, like, say, trying to make sure the quarterly report looks good, or because they're trying to directly compete with something. Or, in some cases, not compete with something. So, that's why that's why and how release dates are set. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what's the compromise? Well, the compromise is the developers obviously don't want to push out an unfinished product. So, the compromise is the developers get to stay in the office and continue bashing their heads against developing the game and finishing the game, even as it's leading up to launch date and after it's been released, thus the day one patch, in order to try and actually get the goddamn thing out in a functional format. So it's become standard policy for developers to kind of deliberately focus on what we'd usually refer to as core problems, rather than patch problems. What I mean by that is, for example, let's use the game we're playing right now. Does this movement work? Does the actual core engine of movement and platforming work? Yes. Okay, that's a core issue. That's something they really want to make sure they get done as soon as possible and actually prioritize that. All the little stuff like, say, inconsistent hitboxes or bugs, or maybe there's like a maybe there's an issue with a quest that doesn't work quite right, or maybe there's some dialogue that's off, or maybe some triggers that are not happening. All that's surface level stuff. Stuff that sucks, obviously, but the kind of stuff that will not completely fundamentally break the game, at least hypothetically. So developers tend to deprioritize working on those kind of things until the very, 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 very end, specifically because that's the kind of stuff that will then go into the day one patch or whatever. No, I'm not in favor of all that for reasons that should be self-apparent, but that's why. That's why that kind of thing is a thing. I love how I walked over him and he's like, no, I'm just going to jump over you and make sure you get hit by me anyways because I hate you. And that's just what he was thinking in his mind right there. It's just like, you know what? I should just start saving after every successful jump because that's just the game we're playing here. I really should just start doing that. And because there's these freaking ghost deaths. The Grim Reaper is hunting me. Not that he needs to, because I'm dying to Goombas right now. Jesus Christ, this goddamn frickin' game. Thank you, Noctis. Very, very much. Yeah, balance is another thing that usually gets deprioritized. Which is funny when you think about it. Very true, Retu. Some issues can be solved quickly and easily. Like, if jumping isn't working, you're probably going to be able to figure out why pretty quickly. If there's an issue where if you're on the third screen of the second stage and you hold right against this one wall and it causes this one character several times later to despawn, which breaks a quest, what the hell is happening there and why? It takes a lot longer to go ahead and process through and figure out what the heck is going on to then fix it. But I'll put that towards Epic Battle Fantasy V, Zelda block, and the Kirby block. Thank you, Noctis, very much. So let's go fight the Grim Reaper. There we go. That's just my life now. That's just mean. Oh my god, come on, game. Anyways, I'm going to give a few more additional negatives here. If everyone's okay with that. No, we're not okay with that. Well, that's a damn shame, because I'm going to give a few additional negatives here. This is terrible. So... yeah, imagine if we didn't have saves coming. Just picture that. Now... we do have... hang on. Because I know it's a bit loud. We have something to debate, because this is actually going to set precedent for a future run that I know is going to happen. So, this is more complicated of an issue than it sounds, but let's say there's a game, and let's say it was designed around X, but the exact version of the game we're playing has something that bypasses the problem of X, in a way that could be considered good game design. How do we review that? And this will come up later. I know it will. Well, see, I don't agree with that, Darkrai, because the exact version of the game we're playing has save states. We have, in fact, already given pluses for save states. That's how the system works. That's why it's always so important to define the exact version of a game we're playing. Because even in some cases, specific ports are different. Like, the example I like to pull out is Final Fantasy X on the PS2, on the PS3, on the PC, and on Switch are all different versions, which would all review differently, based on the specifics of that version. Yeah, exactly. Shy magenta. That's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. It's not always like a big change, but those little changes add up and they absolutely affect the review. Also true, Darkrai. We're only doing 3 versions, Blade Travel. We could do more, but honestly, playing FF4 3 times in a row is already a sufficient number of times to do that, I think. Because yes, the GBA version would review differently from the PS1 version, would review differently from the PSP version, but screw all that. that's not worth my time. I mean, to use another random example, this is a really minor example, but it is an example of something where simply having a different release version actually changes the review. Give me 1 second. I gotta look up the specific stats on this one. Here we go. So, in Mario and Luigi 2, which is Partners in Time, the final boss, which I will not spoil, of course, but the final boss is completely tuned differently between the American release and the Japanese and European release. The American version came out first for some reason and was used as a test bed, and they did several changes. This is significant because the final boss of Mario & Luigi 2 is total freaking bullcrap on the American version. It would be a negative. But because they retuned it and made it a lot better, it would not be a negative in the European and Japanese version. And all they had to do was tweak some stats and adjust some of its movesets. And that's it. And that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Something that most people probably wouldn't even notice. Something that's not a major game mechanic, or adding something new like the save states feature, or like the ability to swap the soundtracks of the Pixel remasters or whatever, still changes the review, right? Stuff like that is why I tend to bang on about this specific version we're playing. So anyways, let me add up those negatives that I just typed up there. Okay, cool. Let's inch our way through this. Ugh. Yeah, Arkham Origins is another good example. There's a lot of examples of this. It's actually more common than I think most people think. Because there's usually minor differences. And I always emphasize that, minor differences, because obviously FF4 on the SNES is different than FF4 on the DS. Duh. You know, anybody could notice that. A brain-dead person could notice the difference between those two versions. You've got to be kidding me. Did you see that? But little changes matter too. Like the example I just gave. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting a little bit off topic here. We still need to decide how, essentially, patching in something, god damn you game, that fixes an issue counts for review purposes. Because the argument could very easily be leveled that we can't give this game a negative for saves, for example, even though the save system is terrible, because they patched in something in order to fix the save issue. Specifically and implicitly to fix the save issue. So, the issue doesn't exist because it's been fixed. But the issue was originally intended to exist, which is why it's like... And yeah, we're essentially setting precedents with this very game. Because this is the first game we've had where something like this has been done. Like what? Well, obviously there's the save system in this very episode, Jesus Christ, game that we're covering. The main reason this has been on my head, about 20 minutes, okay? The main reason this is in my head is because there's an upcoming series of reviews, which are probably months and months out at this point, but they've been on my head, they've been on my mind already. Because, one of the biggest complaints I've always leveled at Final Fantasy VI. Yeah, you knew it would be about FF6, because that's all I can talk about. Is that it has way too many encounters. That the encounter rate is just through the roof, and that's unacceptable. And I stand by that statement. In the Pixel Remaster, that problem is now solved. They fixed the encounter rate by virtue of giving you a button that turns off encounters. How do we review that? And I've honestly been torn on that because it's really a matter of philosophy more than something more objective, like a bit like, I don't know, most negatives are positives. Oh my god, really? That's true, Darkrai. But we will be reviewing... Well, here, I'll even show you. We will be reviewing... Whoops. That version of the game right there. Again, specific version matters. We'll be reviewing all of these versions right here, which all have all of the updated and added quality of life features that they added only to the PS4 and the Switch versions. The ones we're reviewing, which is why this kind of thing matters. You can see why I started this whole discussion with that. I would prefer something like what Bravely Default did, but that's the other precedent there. Bravely Default. Bravely Default has too high of an encounter rate, except it's also completely under your control. Because you can set the encounter rate to 1.5 times, double times, half times, or just turn it completely off. That's just a menu option, just like it is in the Pixel Remasters. So, the encounters are too high, but it's completely in the control of play. And it's literally just, it's like, open the menu, change, close menu. That's it. It doesn't involve going and getting an item. It doesn't involve unlocking the frickin' Moogle Charm or anything like that. You just have a freaking toggle in the menu. So... how do we review that? You can see why this is a question mark in my mind. Bravely Default actually has astonishingly good gameplay. It's really weird. It's honestly some of the best gameplay I've ever seen from a JRPG, and I mean that sincerely. A lot of that is on the quality of life features and the options and stuff, but there's quite a bit of it. And we're gonna get hit, because it's impossible to avoid enemies. Because when you transform, you can't move, and the world keeps moving around you. This goddamn game. No. I don't know anything about Pokemon Violet Act. I know that in order to save, what you have to do is you have to hit X and then R. That is the extent of my knowledge about Pokemon Violet. I have been extremely... In fact, I don't know anything about Pokemon Arceus to really make that point. Ooh, pay attention, Laura. So, let me state my statement a little bit more clearly, because apparently I was not clear. In fact, my niece has played Pokemon Violet while I have been present. And you're probably thinking, oh, so you know everything about it. No. All I know is that she's been running around catching Pokemon, which is something she likes doing. Like, I know that, let's see, what has she done so far? I know there's multiple things you can do, of which she has done none. I know that Loner's here. I know you get the bike very early, because she's obviously been riding around on the bike. That's honestly kind of it. And we're dead. Thank you, Renegade of E. Always appreciate those subs. If you know what you want to put those towards, please let me know. Thank you. That's an interesting statement, Malachor, because after all Star Wars movies are the same. I mean, obviously with some key differences, but they're roughly the same, right? Yeah, Arceus. Well, no, I think the point Malachor was making, Darkrai, is which would be the episode 1 of the Pokemon games. Which Pokemon game is just so craptastically terrible that it's just mind-blowing? Of course, we all know the answer to that. The original. Yeah, the very first one. Like, I'm sorry, but Pokemon Gen 1 is a goddamned mess. I am legitimately astonished that game even runs. Yeah, no kidding, Lightable. You want to talk about a first game? Pokemon Gen 1. Oh. I love this game so much. It's the greatest game ever made. Yeah, I myself have actually spoken in defense of Gen 2 because I think it's actually a decent game. It's hard to even explain how bad the controls are. You kind of have to experience it for yourself. Yeah, going straight from Ori 2 to this is a thing. It's an interesting contrast. Will you talk to me so I can figure out what your deal is? Okay. So hang on. That would be Gen 7, Malachor. Sorry, I don't mean to be negative toward you. It's just I kind of hate the argument you just probably accidentally leveled. Because there's a really, really common tendency for people to assume that every Call of Duty game is the same, and that every Pokemon game is the same. And that irritates the crap out of me. I get why people say that. It's just wrong. You know? I myself have talked very often about what I call iterative design, where each subsequent generation of a game iterates, doesn't completely change everything around. It's just like, okay, let's adjust this and adjust this and adjust this, and that's Pokemon in a nutshell. Every generation has added new mechanics, new gimmicks, new concepts, obviously new stories, new presentation. The very concept of things like double battles and triple battles and roulette battles and sky battles and all kinds of stuff. It's wrong. It's fundamentally wrong to say that the Pokemon games are all the same. And some people say it as a joke and some people don't, but it just grates on me, you know, it's a pet peeve thing. Okay, so where the hell's my map? That's true, Blatchwell, you're right. Pearl to Platinum is a good example of that. Or hell, Ruby to Fire Red is a good example of that. Okay, so we went past Watertown, we went past Scuttletown, but we haven't found Oasis Town, and I'm not sure why. Oh, no, I know why. Okay. You know, I would kill... That's not true. But I would pretend to kill for a good goddamn map of this game. Or even just a map of this game. I am legitimately not sure where I am right now. Was there Darkrai? Hang on, let me move this over here so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Oh my god. I just realized something. So, you of course look at this and you see, what? What's the issue? I look at this, and I see the exact map I've been using on GameFAQs. The only difference is the GameFAQs map has a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6 to indicate where you're supposed to go in rough order. Which means the GameFAQs maps literally took this artwork, screenshotted it, and dumped it on GameFAQs and added 6 numbers to it to vaguely indicate order. This explains why the map on GameFAQs is so crap. Either way, none of these are, of course, the overworld maps. So that's... okay, let's figure out where we are. So this was... Watertown. Okay, so that's too far back. Assassin's Creed, another good example. But no, I figured you weren't being like a dick about it, Malachor. It's just, you can understand why I come down hard on that idea. Okay, fine. You know what? I accept the death just so I have more than 1 health. I've been running around with 1 health for a while now. And I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. Oh yeah, speaking of someone who owns the Pearl and Diamond remaster on the Switch, I have no idea if they're good or bad because I've never played them, obviously as if I would have time to play a video game. But, what I do know about them is that everybody I know hates the crap out of them. Including someone I know who's really into Pokemon. I will say, my biggest complaint about them I could level in 1 second. It's the fact that they are remasters and not remakes. You know me. remasters are neat and all, but I shouldn't complain, though. I shouldn't. I really shouldn't. One of the biggest issues I tend to have with games is how many games are system locked or just straight up lost. And remasters serve as a way to try and pull games out of that crap. I mean, I wouldn't mind some remasters of the Dragon Quest 4 through 6, for that matter, to use another example. Yeah, exactly, Leonard. So I'm kind of being a little casual here because I'm sort of lost. I'm not even sure why or how I'm lost because, like, the map's being weird. There should be a down I should be able to go through. And I found it last time, no issues, and I'm having issues finding it now because apparently my brain went away. Yeah, so if we go... No, it's this bust, really. So it has to be this way. I'm like, this is the only option. Then it should be just straight west, but I didn't see a west. Left, that's what we're saying. There should be a town we haven't reached yet to the left. Yeah, unfortunately the Switch has been treated in many ways like a mobile platform. Probably because it has a similar audience. Which means there's a lot, there's actual mobage on the Switch, which honestly offends me on a personal level. Which, I don't know what else to add to that. I already went through here, but whatever. We're just gonna, you know, let's grab save like down here. So I'm still trying to figure out where I am, but this is this guy who won't talk to me, and I can't do anything about. Like. Down B. There's just this dude who doesn't, I don't know what he is. He won't talk to me. I can't interact with him. And I can't move past him. He's treated like an invisible wall. Look at him. He's literally treated like an invisible wall. I can climb on him. Okay, 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 okay. Okay. I'm obviously extremely lost. There's no cheats. No, there's no nothing. Like, we've got the save states. That's what we got. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewind all the way back here, because this is Watertown. I'm obviously much more lost than I thought I was. Because I legitimately don't even know where we are. We shouldn't even be wherever we were. We should be backtracking to where we've already been. So, God, this means we're going to... Okay, so whatever. So we're going to go left, like you do. We're going to get hit as we go. We're going to die instantly, because because I hate this game. Do you like the platforming of this game, by the way? Like, just... Do I even need to explain why this is terrible platforming? This isn't even platforming. This is go up a mountain to then go down the mountain. Oh yeah, then there's the fact that the camera is apparently enthralled with her gyrating hips and therefore cannot find itself to zoom out more than one additional inch. It is a precision platformer. It plays like a really bad Mega Man game in terms of genre. Like, there's been sections, like right there, where we literally just have to take a blind jump down because we cannot see where we're going. We are too high up to know where we're going. So we just live with that. Keeping in mind that enemies like to do that, and of course, any fall is instant death. I should probably also mention that run jumping is just bugged, for lack of a better way to phrase it. It's hard to really explain if you haven't played it. Like, sometimes it acknowledges that you're running, and sometimes it does not. And no matter what, there's a delay between when you can start walking and when you can start running. And the angle on both of those jumps is completely different. Like, this is a... Whoop, okay, yep, just... Okay, yep, cool. That's my life. These are normal jumps right here. Here we go. So it's a normal jump. This is a running jump, and it's probably not super obvious, but the physics of being in the air between a running jump and a normal jump are completely different from each other. So, there's that too. Okay, so this should be... Yes, okay, we're actually going the right way. Thank God. So we apparently took a wrong turn in the previous zone. Oh yeah, by the way, guess how many saves points there are in the entire game? Okay, so admittedly you're all lowballing a bit. It's actually 9. There's one in each town, and there's one in each dungeon. But if that sounds like a lot of save points, then you haven't played this game. There was a good example of it not allowing me to do the jump I was trying to do, by the way, while we're on the subject. No, I'm not going to pick it up myself. Essentially, yes, Melicor. The idea is A lot of games on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Advance made the same mistake. They assumed that they needed to build the models. The models is almost the wrong word. The meshes, the skeleton of most of the characters based on how they did it back in the SNES or the NES. Like a character being the size of Shantae there on the SNES, no problem. But the SNES simply has a higher resolution and better options for rendering. So she could have been literally half the size she is, and all of a sudden we've literally doubled, or, well, whatever it is, the screen size. And yeah, they also have a bigger screen on that. But so bigger resolution, bigger screen, more movement. But the thing is, everybody designed it for the larger screen that doesn't exist. I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of people did this. So we have the zoomed-in camera problem, which we actually have precedence on giving negatives for, because even though it's technically a hardware issue, it kind of isn't. This is a design choice. There were other things they could have done other than decided to have the camera zoomed in this far or have the sprites these big, because there are Game Boy games that do not have this issue. They're few and far between, but they do exist. Look, I'm stupid, okay? Exactly, Malcolm. No, that's exactly right. And it's exactly the problem. The music is decent. I have given it a positive. Just one. That's all it's getting. Okay. So we should now be, yep, in the fields. We're almost back to the starting area. And then we'll be about halfway to our destination. Oh no, my head hurts standing alert. So I just turned off the light. I mean, I can turn it back on. There you go, boom. Enjoy. I figured the sunlight was plenty of light. I'm gonna let that death happen. God damn it. Look away from the screen for 5 seconds. Immediately die. In this one, when we respawn, we don't respawn with full health either. Just another little screw you on top of everything else. Oh, congratulations, you've got more health. Now get the hell out of here. Okay, we've successfully gotten back to the starter town. Now we just have to go 2 full towns more to the west. Please kill me. It's okay, I actually have an idea. I was gonna save for an upgrade, but I have a different idea. We're gonna buy some friggin' potions. My first Shantae game was the 4th Shantae game of 5, which was Half Genie Hero. Yeah, Half Genie Hero I was actually pretty impressed with. Imagine going from Half Genie Hero back to this. Oh my god. So I just checked a walkthrough and the wiki. And both of them are telling me to suck a lemon. I'm trying to figure out how much these heal for. How much Vial 1, 2, and 3 heal for. The answer is, who freaking knows? That one restores several hearts. Several. Yeah, I don't have to really imagine that, Darkrai. That's not something I have to envision in my life. Oh my god, it's still not telling me. So I just checked another walkthrough. I'm going to check the last walkthrough that exists that I know of that exists for this. And we're going to see if it actually tells me what it frickin' heals for. I'm betting it won't. Oh my god, it's still... We have 4 hearts. So what we're going to do... We're going to make a save state. Yeah, we're... Apparently nobody else in the universe has thought to do what I'm about to do. Apparently I'm the first person who gives enough of a damn to actually bother to check what items do in this freaking game. Well, I know what the third one heals for. It heals you to full. So that's something. It actually says that in the game. But the other two, oh. Okay, so, oh no, I'm hit. Oh no, I'm taking all the damage. Oh god. From a snake lady, I think. I don't know. Who fires the most bullcrap shots at you. Okay, so... I'm trying to figure out how to use an item, if you're not familiar with the insanity that I'm currently dealing with. I feel like somewhere it said what the buttons do. Okay, let's test Dakoida's theory here. Apparently it's up B. Okay, sure. It is not up B. Alright, yeah, let's just see what this will do. Nope, that just straight up killed us. So yeah, that did not use it. Wait. So it was up. Why? But you'll notice the small one healed us to full. Which, okay, so at the very least, the small vial heals a bare minimum of 7 health. So, yay! We have figured out information. Woo! Nope, looks like it's 1 use each in both corrections. Okay. So, let's rewind here, get our money back. Can I buy more than 1? I can, okay. Speaking of which, thank you for reminding me. Speaking of negatives... it's okay, Crazy Horse. I forgive you. This once. Okay, so now let's get back to the overworld map. Oh, by the way, I'm going to share this with you because I want you to see the overworld map I've been working with. I say without hyperbole, I found 3 or 4 different overworld maps as I was perusing the internet. This one was the most useful one. In fact, honestly, for the sake of the VOD, I should show this on camera. Hang on, give me 1 second. I apologize. Let me do my due diligence here. It should be this image. Nope, hang on. This has been the most useful town map that I have found. And I want to stress that I'm not being facetious about that. This is the closest thing to actually useful information I found. So yes, thank you Taylor Calderone for making the only map that's worth a goddamn. This year, by the way, 2023. Just, wow. Okay. You know, I'm just going to leave that on the screen so I can actually have it to reference it. So we just left Scuttletown to the left. So now we're here. We want to go down from this zone. Yeah, I was going to say, if we'd played this earlier, which was the original intent, I wouldn't even have this map. It wouldn't exist. So here we go, down. To the left. I think. Maybe not. Hold on a minute. Let me guess. I need the Vanishing Cream to make this happen. What do you want to bet? Because I actually saw that earlier. For the sake of testing. Just because I'm curious now. Because, I mean, 30 gold, or rupees, or whatever, would actually be worth getting a full heart up. Well, I actually answered that earlier, Act, but I don't mind repeating myself. The answer is very, very simple. Way Forward has a really weird track record. Because they either make games like this, or they make games like Half Genie Hero, and there really doesn't appear to be anything in between. Like, I've played Mummy Demastered. You know? But I've also played DuckTales Remastered, which was actually pretty legit. Yay! Health. So yeah, I was right. Come on. I suppose my biggest question about all this is, why the Game Boy? Of all things you could have released this on, why did you decide to release this on the Game Boy? Because someone somewhere was like, you know what? Game Boy. That's the system for us. 2002. But yeah. I mean, hell, the Game Boy Advance was an option. But ignoring that. Well, one thing I do know about these games, and I've mentioned this before, is they've always been niche. Some of them have sold reasonably well, but they've always had issues getting publishers to keep their games on the market. That's why there's only been 5 Shantae games in 20 years. I guess it's not that bad of a track record, really, when you say it out loud like that, but you get my point. We're gonna do something weird. We're gonna make a backup save right here. I mean, Final Fantasy is a bad example of that because FF's had a big dry spell there. The FF13 plague kind of killed the FF series in a lot of ways for a while there. I mean, we can argue where 4s and how 4s and all that fun stuff, but let's be clear, the last FF game that came out prior to 16 was 12. And, remind me when FF12 came out? Okay, so yeah, it's been a minute, is my point. I hate these guys so much. Interesting idea, Crazy Horse. Let me ask you a related question. Jesus Christ, stop shooting me in the back, you twat. Let me ask you a related question. Do you think they should concentrate on making shorter and simpler Star Wars films so they can release more of them? Let me go ahead and get into this for a second. I don't know where I'm going at the moment. Oh, I'm well aware of the Mega Man series, especially since one of them kind of sucked. That would be 9. 10 was okay. And 11 is, well, the best classic Mega Man game. And the best-selling Mega Man, which is naturally why Capcom was like, let's not bother. So the point I'm trying to reach there, Crazy Horse, is that what you're suggesting is exactly what Disney's approach to Star Wars was until it didn't work. Now, I'm not saying it didn't work because it wouldn't work, I'm just saying it didn't work, and they have since reversed course on the matter. So, they were trying to shove Star Wars movies out the door as fast as humanly possible. Remember when there were 7 Star Wars films that were all greenlit? Almost all of which have been since canceled or discontinued or indefinitely delayed. They're still making some new Star Wars films, but they've pulled back on that pretty hard. Do you like this combat? Picture Ori and the Blind Forest 2, and then picture this game. And I know what you're gonna say, because everybody says it. Everybody says it at least once. That's not a fair comparison. You're comparing the best to the worst. To which I say, that's a stupid argument. No offense. Of course I'm comparing the best to the worst. That's how comparisons work. Like, that's how you establish a ceiling. That's how you establish a gradient of ranking. If I don't know what 100 degrees is, then I don't know what 30 degrees is. Because I have no comparison metric. Now, in the interest of fairness, that also works the other way. We should also compare this against the worst platform I've ever played. So is this worse than Mummy Demastered? No, I don't think it is. But then again, I could be wrong about that. The golden number will answer that question for me, I think. Is this worse than Mega Man X7? No. I don't think this is going to beat Mega Man X7 by a mile. Although that's sad that a Game Boy Color game is going to be better than a PS2 game, but, you know, it's whatever. I could also compare this to Mega Man 5. That's a good point. Let's see. I'm not going to do that right this second, but we should totally specifically compare this to Mega Man 5 when we do the audit. Just to really, really make the point. Unfortunately, I've never played Metroid 2. Well, I've never beaten Metroid 2. They are Crazy Horse, and goddamn do they suck. Okay, good news, we're going the right way. Bad news, we have 1 health, and, no lives, so I'm gonna try and gamble with this. But we're probably going to pop that potion, because I don't need it for the dungeons. The dungeons are fine. That's the really strange thing about all this, by the way. You've been sitting here watching me be frustrated and irritated and angry at this game for about an hour now. But the thing is, the dungeons are fine. Like, they're not great, but they're fine. So what the crap happened with the overworld design? The connective tissue between the stages is terrible. And I know, fine is not exactly a high bar when it comes to dungeon design, but fine is a lot different than, oh my god, I want to stop playing this game immediately. I mean, you're probably right, Dark, right? You're probably exactly right. Or unless you're saying that with certainty, in which case, well... Also, of all games to emulate, Castlevania 2? Jesus. Yes, Trihex, yeah, I do. Because they were the Mongols. Let's just call it what it is. They were the Mongols. No, they're a sexy D&D design, Dakota. Big difference. Okay, we made it to town. Now we just have to go one more town over. We're not even at our destination yet. We're not even freaking there yet. I mean, technically there is a fast travel in this game. All you have to do is gather all the super optional secret things. And then, you know, do that. I don't know, heck. It's really common. Like, really, really common. Actually, you know what? Hang on. We're not gonna heal. I mean, yeah, Darkrai. If we gather, I think it's 9. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Shut up. Of the secret items in an area, you actually have access to the warp squids, and once you have access to the warp squids, you can then warp between towns. I was actually looking for them earlier. I just found like a grand total of 3. Which was obviously not all of them, and then it's just like, alright, whatever. Okay, so we're gonna save. Hard save. We're gonna kill ourselves because suicide! Alright, Of course they aren't Darkrai. And for those of you who haven't seen it yet, our reward for game overing is this screen. I will never stop making fun of that, because it never stops being silly. Okay. So we do keep our item, which is one of the things I was curious about. And we do keep... so we refilled our lives. We got a fresh continue. Let's go. You notice we once again start without full hearts, because screw you and your stupid face. You know, LTTP predates this game by a decade and does better about heart respawning than this game does. I'm just saying. Okay, where's that map? The Taylor map. Looks like I'm just going 2 screens to the left. So let's do it. And by screens, of course, I mean overworld stages of hell. And now we're actually in the hard stuff, so this should be even better than it's been up till now. No, I'm not Von Falkenstein. However, that doesn't even begin to surprise me. Which is ridiculous. We all know Shantae needs to be with Sky. I mean, there's Bolo, who is consistently crapped on the entire series. I don't understand why that happened. Sky is in this game very briefly. She helped us reach the second dungeon. Bolo was in this game, but he was crapped on, as he always is. He's in love with Risky, of course. Seriously, that's the only characterization he's gotten. Risky's super hot. Roddy Tops is also in this one, yes. Who, actually, yeah, is probably the real shipper, because Roddy Tops, in character, has a huge crush on Shantae. That's a recurring thing in universe. One second, please. Weird. Okay, whatever. Like, honestly, I'm pretty sure I've just got a giant magnet in my backpack. And the magnet's like, yeah. And all of the holes just are filled with iron bearings. Just filled with them. I disagree with everything about what just happened there. So now we need to go left. Again, what in God's name is that? I'm fighting Pegasus birds now. So, not that I like talking about, you know, fan artwork and Rule 34 and all that fun stuff, but when I was younger, and I mean a lot younger, like 20 years ago, I was like, you know what, I want to look up totally new things of X-Men characters, because X-Men characters are super hot, right? 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 No? Okay, cool. Now you're probably thinking, why are you sharing this? Well, I discovered something very unusual. Most of the people who want to draw those kind of things do not know how to draw well. And it completely, there was no titillation, there was no anything, it was just bad. Like, it was badly drawn. I found myself looking at it like at that point, why even bother? Although I suppose it's the same reason that people still do fan fiction, even though they're bad authors, if I were to guess on the matter. Okay, so what am I missing here? Tell them to become better artists, Crazy Horse. We could get a new dance right now. It costs 500 gems. Before we made, before we bought those potions, we had about 100. Oh, there's the controls I was looking for earlier. I'm giving that its own negative. No. No, it's a negative for the fact that I was just trying to figure out how to progress through this area. And the answer is that some walls can be climbed on. Not all of them. But it happens that that's some of the walls that you can actually climb on. Nothing in the entire game indicates that you can climb on those walls. It's just you can climb on those walls. Nothing indicates it. The only walls you can climb on in the dungeon where you get the spider form are the ones with spider webs on them. If you like pike balls, you like fireballs even better. They're faster and cause more damage to boot. Want to make some quick cash? Buy a few greedy jars. They're perfect in areas with lots of enemies. Finally got our own guardian genie. I feel safe having old what's-her-name around. Hi, sweetheart. This place is a bandit town. A pretty little thing like you ought to watch your back. Okay. Careful climbing old Mount Pointy. Once you slip down the western slope, there's no return. Here there's 4 types of magical talismans. The monkey claw, the elephant tooth, the spider venom, and the harpy talon. If you had all 4, you'd be tough as nails. Right. Oh, a genie. Are you Bandit Town's guardian? I mean, she doesn't look anything like Risky Boots. Hey, Fife. Hang on, Act. Absolutely. I do my job using powerful mind-reading magic. For instance, you've come here looking for the Twinkle Stone, right? Oh, wow, you're right. Well, you're in luck, sweetie. I can get you into the Twinkle Palace with no problem at all. Meet me there in a bit, will you? But look, I'll be there, thanks. Also, you should try cutting your hair short sometime. It'd look awfully cute in a bob. I'll think about it. Bye for now. Definitely not risky. Obvious, even with the sprite work of the Game Boy. I'm going to pretend I didn't hear that, Crazy Horse, because I don't think I can deal with that thought right now. It was bad enough getting rid of the ranch on the cat last night. Flies. Everything's more expensive here. So, what do I think? Do I think the game will get anything for sprite work? Yes, the sprite work in this game is actually surprisingly good. It was the first thing I noticed, and one of the more positive aspects of the game. I've seen better. But I've still given it a positive for it, and I stand behind that. I've also given the game a positive for animation, because it's surprisingly well animated. Like, it's not really all that surprising that people would adhere to the game, and no, I don't mean because she's sexy. I mean, it's because it is a uniquely well-animated and well-sprited game, especially for the Game Boy. Pretty sure I have Praise Rose. Let me double check. Yep, it's negative number 28. So let's get in a hard save. You know what? Hang on. I'm curious of something. Sure. Well, let's... Give me a second, Blade Taval, and we'll answer that question. This shouldn't take long. Come on. So, no, that's not what I meant to do. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. These two games are probably going to be king on sprite work when it comes to the Game Boy Color, but let's see what else we got down here. So, we can see immediately that Metroid 2 does have actually the same general problem of the game we just were playing. That is to say, oh my god, this controls terribly. It's too zoomed in. Although, actually, the platforming is literally immediately better. Animation's a lot stiffer, though, which is what I was really here to look at. That's not a good running cycle. I mean, that looks a lot like just the NES one, but it's slightly different. This plays better than I was actually thinking it would. We'll actually be reviewing this exact version of the game, by the way, when it comes to the Metroid block. So what else we got here? Obviously Kirby. We'll come back to that. I want to see Wario Land, because by memory, the Wario Lands are pretty legit. That would be interesting, act. Off the top of my head, it would probably be Finland, Sweden, and... Germany, I think, is where I would go with that one. Not in that order. And for different reasons. Okay, immediately that's well animated. Like seconds in, this is well animated. Look at this. Still zoomed in, which is just an issue. Granted, this is a cutscene, but still. Deutschland is how I would say that. Which is probably incorrect, and I probably don't care. I can't do German. I've never been able to do German. Now, hang on, hang on. Hang on, Dark Ride. Let me get to actual gameplay. Assuming there is actual gameplay at some point. This is, taking a minute. Unskippable cutscene. Literally. I can't. This is me mashing through those. And it's it's the hold press problem, which irritates the crap out of me. No, don't. This is a platformer, which is exactly why I was pulling it out. Because we're comparing it against contemporaries, right? That's the whole idea here. Oh my god, this controls so much better. This is bonkers. This is bonkers how much better this controls. I can't even put it into words. This is night and day. Someone do me a favor. When did this game come out? It's Wario Land 3, specifically. 2000. So it came out on the same system, Game Boy Color, before it, and better. True, this is Nintendo, although that is, as usual, no excuse. Okay, so, hang on. So this is obviously unfair. Let's just... But, let's go up to another game that usually has really good animation. Once again, same genre, platformer. Yeah, the color palette's not great. Probably Crazy Horse. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and say that the animation's still decent. And I think you're right. I think this is actually a Game Boy game that's been colorized, which is a... In fact, yeah, it is right there. It'll always say color if it's actually designed for the color, whereas that one just says regular. Hello, Dr. Winter. This is a Game Boy Color game. Interesting. If it's not obvious, this is how I'm controlling this. Yeah, it's gyro controls. Anyways, so yeah, it's a little Super Monkey Ball kind of a thing. Interesting. But we've been looking at the really good games. So let's rewind a little bit to something a little bit worse, which is not here. How do they not have... I've got to be blind. Is this it? They don't have Super Mario Land 1? Which is actually what I was going to look for. Like, they've got Super Mario Land 2 and Wario Land 3, but not Wario Land 1 or 2, or Mario Land 1. I'm confused by this. Okay. Well, anyways, I was just going to point out that Mario Land 1 looks like total garbage, but it was also a launch title, so that makes a degree of sense. Like, because the thing is, what I wanted to do was show off the difference between Land 1 and Land 2, because Land 2 is not a color game. But it still looks like this. Like, the difference between Land 1 and Land 2 is honestly night and day. It's a little bit bonkers. And no, Land 1 is not a color game. The number of games that were exclusively Game Boy Color is actually pretty small. The Game Boy Color was kind of an in-betweeny console. Probably based on it, to quote it. Because Land 1 wasn't. To put it as nice as I can. Do I have... I suppose it would be this. I don't know, Act. I'm not the person to ask about that. I guess I am the person. Whoa, that's weird. That's not what I want at all. So this is Mario Land. It looks like this and plays like this. Yeah, Land is its own thing. There's a reason we're not covering Land in the 2D Mario block. At least I don't think we are. I guess I could verify that. Yeah, what you're looking at right now is the Virtual Boy, or not the Virtual Boy, excuse me, the Super Game Boy, the one on the SNES colorization that they added to it. Nope, I'm right. There will be no Land. I thought so. Anyways. Point being, the graphics of this game actually look pretty legit, and the animation is also similarly surprisingly good. I would say the only games that beat it are Nintendo at their core, and that's actually it. At least for the contemporaries, other Game Boy games of the era. Having said that, it is weird going back to it from the later sprites, which just look better in every way, because they are. But what are we going to do? So where was I? I think this is where I am. Yes. Okay. Just while we're here, so there's one thing which they added. This isn't it. Yeah, the oracles were Capcom, although I didn't even show those off. It's for a while. Plus, they're mostly just Link's Awakening. But anyway, so hey, this is the Game Boy Advance exclusive content. I see that you're a very advanced hero. Bring me 500 gems and I'll tell you a secret. That's it. We don't have 500 gems, so we're going to move on with our lives. Undertale. So Undertale is better than this in pretty much every way. but I want to explain why. So this game technically is better animated because Undertale uses less animation frames per motion. But what it does is it does the Final Fantasy IV thing. Let me explain this very briefly. So for those of you not aware, Final Fantasy IV was put together by a team that included an actual theatrical director and a storyteller. And if you don't understand the significance of that, they looked at the severe limitations of the SNES, which was effectively just a slightly better NES, and they were like, okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this to tell a freaking story. So they got really, really creative about using motion and really, really basic. Like, there's so few frames of animation in FF4 that they had to get really creative with how to use them to sell the scene. So while the animation in FF4 is not good, the animation in FF4 is really, really good. In other words, the core animation is not good, but how they use it is better than a lot of other much more contemporary games. This then ties right back into Undertale. Undertale sprites almost always had a very, very few variations in frames or animation, but there was a whole lot of directing and blocking and storyboarding to actually make those sprites work. In virtually every scene, you know what's happening, you know why it's happening, and it looks like a scene that's actually happening because a lot of directing work put into it. So that's my thoughts on Undertale compared to this one. This one arguably has, kidding dark right, this one arguably has better animation, that is to say, better fidelity of frames, but worse usage of its animation. So let's get out of here. I'm not actually sure where I'm going right now. Hang on. So, right. Okay, so we're going back this way. To hell. Welcome to hell. Okay. And yes, you have to manually input the dance each time you do it. Oh my I mean, I'm not a big fan of having to menu change power-ups in Mega Man, but I would prefer that over this. Also, in case you didn't notice, that time doesn't stop when you're doing the dancing. So, like, if you start dancing to react to an enemy showing up, and then, you dance, and then you finish the dance, the enemy has now reached you and is now hitting you while you're still dancing. They absolutely do, Darkrai. There's a weirdly large amount of padding in this game, which I guess makes sense. It is, after all, a Game Boy game, and they need to make these as long as possible. Hello, what you say your name was? My name? Who cares? Now sit still while I do my thing. I mean, I told you she's got hips. Thanks, that was a piece of cake. I better get in and out of here before I freeze to death. We wouldn't want that. Hee hee hee. Okay, final dungeon. No, act. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Okay. Where are we? It's always my favorite part about whenever I start a dungeon is figuring out where I am in the map. I mean, Pokemon was a console mover. We've talked about that idea before. Some games just sell consoles by themselves, like Grand Theft Auto 3 did. Or God of War, the original God of War for the PS2. Or, yeah, Sonic and the Sega's Ocarina for the N64. There's been a lot of console movers over the years. It's not as common as it used to be, but people still like to lean onto the idea. Like, you'll notice that Sony was betting on several of its early PS5 titles to really push PS5 sales. Where am I? I think I'm here. Which means I think I need to go down right, or go fight this thing. Sakes. Yeah, a lot of people forget how relatively recent Pokemon was. They think of it as an older game, and for good reason, but relatively speaking, Pokemon came out pretty far into that life cycle. Yeah, Tetris. Tetris and Mario Land were launch titles on the Game Boy and honestly sold weirdly well. Probably because of the fact that of just the uniqueness and the gimmick of it. Being able to play video games at all. Handheld was a huge thing. And then of course, look at it. And then of course, oh, stretch. It was Tetris, which is a pretty well-renowned and well-beloved game for a reason. I admit I'm not a big Tetris person myself, but that's just preference. It would be stupid of me to discount how much of an impact Tetris has had on gaming. Okay, so hang on. So I am here. Where am I going? I'm going up. The first game I remember playing is Pac-Man. The original. On the arcades, specifically. That was the beginning of my gaming career. Not a great game, but there weren't a lot of options, you know. That would have been 84? I want to say, something like that. Okay, so we're here now. Of course. No, No, believe it or not, I thought Pac-Man was a pretty boring game, even as a kid. I still do, consequently. It was just a game. The first game I remember liking, that's pretty easy, honestly. Okay. Mario Brothers, by the way. The original. It's funny because I don't think Mario Brothers has really withstood the test of time particularly well, and I don't anticipate it'll review particularly well either. But it was still freaking Mario Brothers. It was revolutionary for a reason, and it was a game I actually enjoyed. Alright, so now we're going down. How do I go down? Answer is I don't. There's no way to go down through these things, so where do you want me to go, game? Oh, Jesus Christ, really? As usual, the level design is go all the way around, with no indicators of where you're going or why you're going around. The total lack of direction is what really pisses me off about all of this. I've already given negatives for the lack of map and for the walkthrough-itis, but it really needs to be re-emphasized how much that makes this game a lot less enjoyable than it really should be. Just having no idea where I'm going all the time is really frustrating. I was gonna say, we will... Oh my god, no. We will actually be reviewing Castlevania 2 someday, so it'll be interesting to compare the two. I mean, in fairness, Ori's map did piss me off. Mostly because I had to constantly hit select in order to pull it up. Give me a mini-map! But, no, I acquiesced the point. At least it had a map. That's an instant death pool. That little pond? That little puddle? I want this goddamn game over with so badly, yet. I cannot wait to no longer be playing this game. Pretty sure we'll beat it. I've got walkthroughs and save states, but god damn. Now where do you want me to go? The other end of the dungeon. How the hell do I get over there? Okay, that's gonna be a trip. It's almost entirely across the entire dungeon now for the next step. I don't know if I'd say sad. Like I said, I think it used its time well, which means if it was longer... Oh my god, game. It probably wouldn't have been a good thing, you know what I mean? Having said that, I do need to look up if there is any actual Ori 2 randomness. I'm curious. I will tell you, I can just feel the seconds of my life ticking away endlessly on this goddamn game. Had to get that in there, didn't you? You know, I just realized this is the ice dungeon, and yet it doesn't actually use ice physics. So that's not a negative. Look, at this point, you take what you can get, game. Saying that something isn't a negative is about as good as we're gonna get here. And yeah, no, that's actually a valid point, Crazy Horse. It's possible that Ori 2 would have the same problem with randomizers that Ocarina did. It's just too, for lack of a better put it, too padded. It takes too much time, and it's too involved, and blah, 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 blah. Like, it would just be a slog. I don't know, though. Yeah, nope, that's sort of exactly what I was expecting. Come on. Can I not do it when I'm a monkey? Do I have to? Okay. What really worries... This is just mean, game. What really worries me about this, Crazy Horse, is... So there's this game, and then the sequel came out 8 years later, right? But the sequel was actually the third... God, come on, game. The sequel was actually the third game they worked on, not the second. The second game is coming out sometime later this year. It does not want to do that. Later this year. Or next year, excuse me. Hey, okay. This way? Can I go this way? I can't. Oh my god. So, what I'm trying to say here is that the new game that's coming out, which was the second game they worked on, might turbo suck. Who knows? I suppose we'll see. But I'm pretty sure the next game I haven't played, it's either the next or the next I haven't played. I'm not sure the order. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll figure it out. You see those little puddles, Velton Ryu? Those kill me instantly if I touch those. Yeah, I just thought I'd mention that. Of course. I would not play this without save states, to be very blunt, Dr. Winter. If we were playing this on just a straight emulator, I would have thrown up the cheat flag and used save states before we got to the first dungeon. Or perhaps in the first dungeon. This is... yeah. Okay, so, down. Put simply, I'm not playing this without save states. If the option is no save states, or don't play the game, I will take don't play the game. We would flag this as an incomplete and just move on with our lives. You know, everyone in chat's like, damn, we have save states. I like how the music's glitching out, by the way. Yeah, I'll watch it later, act. Oh, where'd my map go? There it is. I don't know what NSO means, but we're playing on the Switch. Oh, Nintendo Switch Online. No. This actually isn't available for Switch Online. You had to buy it separate. Which I did, of course. For the sake of the review. I already hate the look of this room. You see all those instant death spikes? As a reminder, those instant death spikes are instant death spikes. Oh, okay. So, for probably the first time in the entire game, the map was actually useful for that, because it showed me where each of them were. And I could look at it and be like, oh, okay, and I can follow the pattern. So... I don't know, Brazen Horse. Maybe they're easy to code? Thank you for freeing me. I have the exact same dialogue as every other person. Oh, hey, DirectD. Sorry I'm kind of lounging today, but just, oh my god, kill me. Down A. I mean, yeah, instant death spikes are my favorite thing. Because my name is Bob, and a spike cheated on my wife. Thank you, DirectD. I will put that towards various things, if you give me a second here. No, this came out in 2002. It's a lot more recent than you'd think, but yeah. Look, instant death has its place in gaming, but I really think that most developers lean on the button way too hard. Now we have the ability to just fly. So now that we've gotten flight, where are we going? Where? Okay. Well, if It controls like this. If that gives you any idea, Crazy Horse. Okay, so we need to go this way? Why is everything so spread out in this dungeon? We have to now go across about half the dungeon. We're in the final dungeon, Triaxia. I actually don't know what's after this, so I guess we'll find out. I'm guessing we'll have to go across the entire overworld again. Twice. I don't have the power to do this, but it would be interesting to track time-wise how much of a percentage of the game is spent in dungeons and how much is spent in the overworld. Because I bet we've actually spent more time in the overworld than in dungeons. It's hard to guess. So, all the way up? All the way up. Okay. Sure, game. That's what I mean when I have good animations, though. There's even like a landing animation. And look at the hair while you're in the air. Just some really good stuff here. Did you have to? Was it required? And yeah, obviously not risky is totally, absolutely not going to steal the thing from us at the end of this dungeon, so that's cool. Hey, the Dandelion, give me 1 second here. There we go. I gotta tell you, I do not feel like that today, the end of the line. I appreciate your support, both financially and verbally. It's just, I feel like junk today. Oh my gosh. Oh, I cannot wait to be done with this game. Okay, so, you didn't put it towards anything. If you want to put that towards up to 3 things, please let me know. But thank you very much. Okay, where's my map? So we got that key. Now we have to go across half the dungeon. You know, I can't say this for definitiveness because I've never reviewed it, but I feel like even Zelda 2 doesn't have this problem. Dealer's choice. You got it. Because Zelda 2... in terms of how the level flow goes, is a lot less have fun trying to figure out where you're going, and a lot more it's okay, I can actually figure out where I'm going. Just by virtue of not being this lengthy or this convoluted, or not having, I don't know, having better guidance in how you can approach things. Let me try to explain what I mean by that a little bit, because I know I'm explaining this badly. Can I? No, of course I can't. Alright, so I'm looking at the map, right? Now, in a Zelda 2 dungeon, what tends to happen is you're here, and you go down, and you go left or right, and either way leads to some stuff, and then you can go further down and left, but then there's a door. Key door. Okay, cool. So you go, there's a key here. Okay, then we go through the key door, and we go this way, and immediately past the key door is like a thing. It's like, hey, we got the thing, cool. Things in Zelda 2 are usually useful out of dungeons, but the point is we now know we have the thing, so we go the only other way we haven't gone, and that leads over to the boss. Now that's a hugely simplified version of it, but that's what I mean by the flow of the dungeon. In Zelda 2, for all the many, many flaws that game has, and it has a lot, the fact of the matter is, generally speaking, you don't need a walkthrough, you don't need a guide, you don't need a map. So the absence of map is not a negative there. But in this game, and this is a direct example, we enter the dungeon, and then we can go down and left, down and right, up and left, up and right. Okay, 4 directions, not too bad. So what we're supposed to do is do up, right, get a key. Then go down, left, go through a key door. But we could go down right, and we could go up left. But both of those will just run into dead ends because, which we won't find out until we get further into there, because they're one directional. Because the only way to progress is to go this exact path. So your path through the dungeon, there's no logic to it. Because once we finally get this, and then we go through that key door, we go all the way to the right, get another key, then go all the way left to the door, which then leads us to a place where we can go 5 directions. But we're supposed to ignore all of those and keep going, and then go up through like a hidden passageway thing to get the next key, which then allows us to keep ignoring all that stuff even more and go get the flight form, which is what we did. Then we start backtracking through the areas we had access to earlier. Like, you get what my point is here? There's no actual flow to the dungeon design. There's no logic to what points you hit in what order. It's like WoW vanilla questing, to put it as dumbly as possible. You just get quests that ping pong all over the place because the designers didn't think about the order in which you could or even should be doing stuff. Now, you don't have to do some stuff in a certain order, but you kind of are supposed to. And, well, this leads to the negative that I haven't actually given yet. Or rather, the 3 negatives that I'm going to give. Because even though I have a walkthrough, I could tell you that this would be arduous per dungeon. And then there's the overworld problem. All 3 of these are the same negative, or all 2 of these things are the same negative, and that negative is backtracking. This game is absolutely in love with backtracking, to the point where it is aggravating. This is, and I say this without hyperbole, one of the worst backtracking games I've ever seen. And the game constantly wants you to go back and forth over the same goddamn areas, whether it's within a dungeon or constantly navigating the overworld just to do little micro steps in the quests. Yeah, exactly, right after Ori 2. I found myself thinking this just last night when I was doing the paperwork at the end of the night, is that I wouldn't mind going and finding all of the secrets, like the fireflies and the heart-ups and the squids, if not for the fact that it's so goddamn arduous to constantly go back and forth over the areas over and over again, on top of the fact that I already have to do that mandatorily. Think about this for a second. The overworld, which is essentially a straight line, just left to right, just like Castlevania 2. If you've ever seen a world map of Castlevania 2, it's actually fascinating to look at, because it's like, oh, that's how the world map works. And all of a sudden it makes sense. There's a game that needs a map while we're on the subject. Getting off topic. So you start here, pretty much towards the left end of the map. You have to go right, and then left, and then more right, and then all the way left, and then all the way right, and then all the way left, and then, well, that's actually it. But all of those are mandatory steps. That's insanity. Meanwhile, everyone in the VOD who really loves this game was like, no, you're dumb and you're wrong. You just should be using fire damage. And I'm like, there's no fire damage. Okay, sorry, we're done. Okay, so, what are these? I don't even know what these items are. Yeah, exactly, pillars of snow. No, I have gotten one comment on the VOD so far, and it was from someone who said, yeah, I never beat this game because it sucked. I'm putting words in their mouth. The actual thing they said was, here we go. I've been waiting for this one. It kicked my ass over and over years ago with horrendous movement, hitboxes, and difficulty overall, but had such amazing music and world that it drew me in like any other platformer. And yeah, that's about right, because, Jesus. But anyways. So where am I? What have I just done? I've lost my track. I lost track where I am. Okay, I'm right here. So I need to do this. Whoops. Okay, we're gonna do this. There we go. And I need to go right, and then right. mean, this game kind of bombed, which, and ignoring the obvious financial problems, also means that not a lot of people played it. At least when it came out. And I know that sucks. I mean, I understand full well what it's like to feel like, oh, nobody's really watching / playing the thing I made. Like, that's not a great feeling. But at the same time, thank God nobody played this game. Alright, so, right, I need to do this. So, funny you say that, though, Crazy Horse. As we'll talk about when we get there, the next game sold substantially better. And yeah, it's probably functionally the first game of the series, the LTTP, if you will. Get this the right way. Because now we have to go the one and only place in the game we couldn't go before, which is this tunnel, which we definitely noticed because the camera wasn't zoomed in so hard that we couldn't see where we were going. God, this thing is so squirrely. Have you noticed the ice physics even on the ground? It's probably not obvious here, but yeah. There, did you see that? Okay, so that's an attack power buff. Now where? Of course it's on the complete other end of the dungeon. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, yeah, I guarantee you at least someone somewhere, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, is going to be like, you know, Lord, this game isn't that bad if you just go grind for a while. Because enemies respawn infinitely, and if you just grind up a bunch of gems, you can buy potions, and you can buy health ups, and the buff items, and all that kind of other stuff, which totally mitigates all of the bullcrap game design of the game. And honestly, while that's certainly a valid perspective, as I could waste even more time wasting more time. First of all, that doesn't protect from instant death spikes. But second, and more importantly, it's not going to prevent any of the other issues from existing in the game. Alright, so we're going literally across the entire dungeon at this point, from one end to the other. I'm not actually being facetious there. So down. Let me do a thing. Very important. More down? More down. I can't go more down. Cool. Okay, I can make that work. Well, I mean, you've seen how very few gems. Most enemies drop 1 gem. Some of them drop 5. There's an item that increases the amount they drop by double, but that makes it 2 or 10, respectively. And that item costs money. So, like, a little basic math can reveal the problem there. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. You, of course, be losing health while fighting because the combat in this game is abysmally terrible. Yeah, near as I can tell, the best way to make money would be to do like the dancing game and the other mini games each town has. Which, yeah, not sure how much I. It was just a warp squid. Whatever. Thought it was something a little more worthwhile. I was wrong. Moving on. What I find tremendously amusing is we are going to end up with a pretty strong net positive story score because of the visuals, the charm, you know, the stuff you're expecting to get pluses. How much of that is valid is up to you, but it is interesting to think. So let's not get hit here. Or here. Okay, sure. I'll accept that. Why would you send Doctor Strange to check out a helicopter? Unless he's bored. Hey, Doctor Strange, check out a helicopter. Okay. Alright, now what? Well, I guess that's it, sir. Okay, cool. Like, he's frickin' Doctor Strange. What am I doing wrong here? I managed this last time, no problems. Oh. I think I know what I'm doing wrong. Oh, that's bullcrap. Okay. Okay. Let's go die. Very important part of the process. Okay, okay. Nope. There we go. So, you're probably wondering what I did differently that time as opposed to the previous time. Can you guess before I tell you? Because I figured it out immediately, and just implementing it was kind of a thing. But I did it, and I was right. Shot into the wall? Nope, did that last time. Locking? I don't know what locking has to do with anything, but either way, no. Luck? Still no. Reset the energy by dying. Still no. Release instead of shoot. Still no. I give you a hand. Hi, Maverick. It's something absolutely ridiculous. So, you probably don't remember me saying this earlier, but the physics operates differently whether you're running or walking. So, if you walk into one of those lunge things and then fly around, then you're still operating under walk physics. And so I couldn't make the jump once I shot to the left because I was in walk physics. So once I ran into the thing and then zoomed my way up and then shot out, I can make it because now I was in run physics. Oh my god, this room. Look at this room. I can't even attack them. Yeah, I figured that out pretty quickly because I could tell, like I said, I noticed the physics earlier and I tend to pay attention to that sort of thing. And it was pretty self-apparent that something was off because I was doing the same inputs. And then I did a test earlier and I was like, oh, hey, this works this way. And yeah, that was just... Anyways, so boss time. I'd normally say the last boss, but I'm pretty sure Risky is actually the last boss. Is it intended? Good question. Who knows? Okay. Let's see if we can figure out how to fight the boss before we actually fight the boss. And just the hell of it, let's look up the boss battle. Okay, I've got it looked up. Let's see if we can figure it out before we actually have to look at it. You know what I mean. This looks like the place. Here's the Twinkle Stone, but no sign of Risky Booth. Did she give up after losing the first 3 to me? Uh-oh. No time for questions. So how do we fight the boss? Yes, these are all Game Boy negatives. No, I'm telling you, Risky's gonna be the last boss. Gameplay. Hey developers, have you ever heard of the rule of 3? The rule of 3 exists in gaming for a really good reason. I know some people deride it, but I don't agree with most of the derisions that are put up against it. The rule of 3 is a really good rule for boss design for a good reason. That can be implemented badly, of course, as all things can be. But the whole point of the rule of 3 is you introduce, you escalate, and you conclude. That's the rule of 3. You hit the boss 3 times, and generally speaking, each time the pattern changes, so it becomes more complex and more difficult and more complicated. There's something they do to vary it up. Now, obviously, a dumb rule of 3 game is where you just punch a boss 3 times and then they die. But when you do the exact same pattern each time, and then you do it however many times I just did it, which I wasn't keeping track, that's not good boss design. So we're going to cut off the guessing game soon. Let me go and update the HUD slightly because it's moved forward a little bit. Ahem. Hi again. Found the twinkle. Oh my god. It was risky the entire time. How are we just standing there while she steals all the things from our inventory? How did she tie us up? How are we helpless? That ought to shut you up. Thanks for being a perfect little stooge. Now that you've collected all 4 stones for me, my Tinkerbats can complete their steam-powered project. Stop by for the grand unveiling. It's sure to be a smash from coast to coast. We just literally ripped the ropes free. No. No. The next destination is Scuttletown, which is 2 towns that way. Which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, essentially 4 zones that way. Suicide. Or not. Hang on, what? Was that a save point down? Why would you put the save down here? What possible benefit is that of doing it down here before we have access to the Harpy form? Speaking of which... let's probably see the I hope, the closest this game is going to come to Ora in the Blind Forest. By giving us a new traversal method that allows us to completely avoid all the bullcrap. Hopefully. We're never gonna make it here. We're just... this is just our life now. It was always Shantae. It will always be Shantae. In the quiet dark of the silver moon, screaming its blood-red rose into the universe, we will still be playing Shantae. Yeah, we're just gonna fly over everything. We're just gonna fly over everything. We're playing Mario Brothers 3 now. Points if you get it. And accidentally getting collectibles. I mean, I'm not that fond of Mario Brothers 3 compared to some people, and yeah, I'd still rather be playing Mario Brothers 3 than this. I guess that's not saying much. What would you rather do? Get a decent massage, or have someone stab you in the eye with a pencil? Let me think about that for a minute. I mean, this is just cake or death. I'm sure the Fireflies do something. Maybe someone more learned and wise. Oh my god, we were like 5 feet from the end. They're gonna start all over now. It's okay, we can afford 1 potion right now. Hi, TSP. Isn't it Monday? It is. Okay, God, don't give me a heart attack like that. Yeah, it's like they knew we were going to do this, and they're like, no, you don't get a free pass. And I'm like, but I want a free pass. I just want to go home. Apparently, really Mario Brothers 3 was the solution all along. Yep, we're playing Flappy Bird. Shantae edition. What the hell is that? Spider Venom. This allows me to attack in spider form. Okay. Just hanging out in the sky. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Let's go ahead and get various recovery saves. You know, that's a good question, Hero. I don't know. Hard to have metrics for that kind of thing. You know, I honestly do not know, Crazy Horse. Because I know it changes in, I think it was Half Genie Hero, had a different ending based on it getting all the stuff. Which is why we did. Well, it's one of the reasons we did. The other reason is it was actually decently fun. But, you know, that's because that was actually a good game. It's funny how that works. I mean, pretty much. Okay, so let's see what's in the air here. The hell? So this must be the legendary spy scope I keep hearing about. Who goes there? Eek, what was that? Know that if you wish to look through me, I must first look through you. I certainly hope you mean through my heart or soul or something. Of course that's what I mean. Here now, I see you wish only to save a peaceful people from a horrible fate at the hands of evil. Look now through the eyepiece and choose your destination. What? What? Risky must be hiding out on that island. By my power, I will send you there. Okay, but if you send me there by magic, how do I get back? Simply stand in my light and you will be returned. I think we accidentally found the way to the final dungeon. What is this place? Looks like an enormous Tinkerbat factory. The entire island of Tinkerbats has been exploring steam technology. I better be ready for anything. Okay. I'm not gonna question this. So the best part is I don't have a map for this place. I'm on my own here. No, sequence breaking isn't a positive in and of itself. I mean, if that was true, most games would get just essentially a pity positive for sequence breaking. I do like that it's not trigger-based, but again, that's more of a neutral than a positive. So, in case you're curious, if we had gone to town, what would have happened? Okay, so what you get for the Fireflies is a heal. It costs you 10 gems to heal 1 heart. That's it. That's what getting all the fireflies gets you. Anyway, so what you get if you go into town is... Risky has all 4 stones? This is a disaster. The only chance now is to locate Risky's hideout and stop her before it's too late. Maybe if you fly to the highest point, you can get a better view. It's the only hope we have left, so get to it. And that's it. That's your hint. Doesn't tell you which zone. Doesn't tell you, like, what... It just... Anything. It's just... Fly to the highest point. Yeah... Anyways. Is this the last dungeon? Just double checking. Yes, it is. Okay. Cool. So we're going to go and chop off the guessing game pretty soon here. Where is my notes? Here they are. That's what I thought. So let me update the HUD, because we're down to 35 negatives to gameplay now. I never expected this game to review well. Really. I'm not sure that I expected it to review this badly. Does a bad game benefit from a lack of density? No, actually. Because it operates in the same direction as it does a good game. So, so to explain this a little bit, density only qualifies in a positive manner, if that makes any sense. So what I mean by that is a short game that has high negative density actually has really low positive density. So it's not, good, but the point is that it's not like being magnified artificially. By contrast, a long bad game absolutely is getting magnified because of the fact that it's so damn long, if I'm explaining that correctly. I'm probably explaining that badly because brain dead, but you get it. Most positive for backtracking? Dread. Dread or super, but it's probably Dread. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and use the walkthrough here, because screw this nonsense. Triple. It's a triple positive. Save. Oh, heavy save. Never mind. Did we save? Okay, we did. No, the system is designed... It's... One of the biggest problems we had with setting up the review system was we had to account for negative numbers. And anybody who knows math knows that negative numbers work differently mathematically. And so accommodating for that was a huge hurdle for us to overcome. And lots of praise to Savacom for helping me with that. Because she was a huge proponent of getting a lot of that math squared away. do what I asked you to do. That's cool too. Hey, okay, screw it. We're just gonna jump over the damn thing. I'm just gonna save a bunch. That's what we're gonna do. You know, under ordinary circumstances, a dungeon like this requiring you to constantly shape change to do different obstacles would be a really good thing. Now, from a level design perspective, it's something, and I'll give it that. But, like, from a playing the game perspective, it's just so irritating changing forms constantly. Thank God the later games just make it a frickin' shortcut. How much health do you have? There's gotta be a mini-boss. Because the elephant does triple damage. Like, compared to everything else I do. Like, the swing is one, and the lunge is two. Do I have to kill these? Maybe. Whatever. We were in a steam room, prisoners. Take interesting sentences out of context for 500 prisoners. What? I don't understand how I entered this pipe. I'm actually confused by this. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the guessing game right now. If you haven't guessed, sucks to be you. Alright. Why do all these weird tinkle bats follow, or tinker bats, whatever the hell they're called, follow, what's her face? How does she command their loyalty so thoroughly? And why do they not have, like, any brains or anything, really? Like, why are these essentially minions? Let's just call them what they are. Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if that's literally the logic, Crazenors. Speaking of Angry Bird, or Flappy Bird, oh my god. Okay, this is terrible. I take back every good thing I said about this dungeon. Like, you were actually warming to me, and then you had to throw that nonsense at me. Yes, Shade Magenta. I'm going to pause for, you know, like, paperwork and stuff. But yes, the next game we're playing is the next game of the series. Whichever one that is. Shantae 2. Okay. There we go. Jesus. Yeah, you remember when they heard about how torture was like being condoned by the international community back in 2002? It was actually this game. Here, I'll open it up, Dr. Winter. Really quick, really quick. Make your guess in a hurry, though. Yeah, go guess, go guess. This is the last boss. So guess. Quick, quick. Oh, stretch. Ultra stretch. Okay, locking it down again. Boop. Okay. So, you just couldn't mind your own business, could you? Had to see what my army of Tinkerbats was building. Well, here's your answer. Thanks to all 4 magical stones, I'm about to put the finishing touches on my steam-powered behemoth. With me at the helm, no town or land or sea will ever oppose my rule again. Prepare yourself for the awesome might of my all-purpose steam-powered Tinker Tank! Good morning, Knock Loose. Well, okay, hang on. So, final boss time. Yeah, the best part is you have to dance constantly, so it interrupts the music, too. Just among other issues that this is having. Well, I think the score on the screen should give away my opinion, not Liz. Yeah, the song's decent. Which is why it's a shame I have to keep interrupting it. Final boss, actually, Mr. Red, yes. Hey, Doom Rider. Hopefully none, Vault Ryu, because her animal forms are cute. Like, adorable, you know. That's not something that should be sexy, you know. Oh my god. You notice how we have to constantly shift in and out of forms here? Just making everything kind of worse. Point it out. You also notice that even in the final boss there's backtracking. We have to fly up into the middle, monkey form. Hang on, switch out of form, then monkey form, go up to the right, switch out, attack, switch into monkey form, go back, switch out of form, attack, switch into monkey form, go back, switch out of monkey form, and attack. That's literally, unexaggeratively, the steps required here. That's actually what's happening. Switch, and then we go back, and then we switch. And we're too far away because our attack range is pathetic. And then we destroy the 4 elements of harmony. Which, by the way, maybe don't think about destroying the games, the frickin' elemental stones, just as a random thought. Like, maybe that's not the best solution to this scenario. I don't know. Yes, Vault and Ryu. Absolutely. This is a thing. This is game design. There's no enemies here. There's nothing to dodge. This is sheer repetition. Fun fact, I'm looking at the guessing game. Only one person guessed a positive number. So, actual final boss. No! How is this possible? My ticker take. It's nothing but rubble. I'll slice you to bits and dance in your runny innards. That's kind of messed up, actually. Oh yeah. Pop this. Why are you invincible? What? Do I literally not have the ability to hit her in human form? Is that just my life? Don't seem to be doing anything in elephant form either. What the crap? Did I mention you can be interrupted out of a dance if you're hit, by the way? Just another little irritation on top of everything else. I have a horrible theory here. Let's hang on. Why did that work that one time and never else? I'm so confused. Okay, whatever. We're just gonna... Why is... okay, I don't even know. I don't know or care. You know, Castlevania 1 in the NES had boss health bars. Just pointing that out for no reason. Why does it only hit her sometimes? Does she just have untelegraphed iframes just periodically? Give up, Frisky. You're finished. You'll never leave this place alive. Ho, ho, ho. Like, when she's immune to damage while attacking or with her sword out. That's actually terrible. Imagine dying on that escape sequence, as in game overing, and having to redo not just the final boss, but the previous final boss, and the entire final dungeon, because that's when your last save was. Welcome, Shantae. Where am I? What is this place? I can't see a thing. Do not be afraid. You are with friends. You have entered the genie realm. Oh, so I died. Okay, cool. We brought you here to present you with a gift, a reward for your valor in the face of evil. A reward? You have withstood many trials and exceeded your potential as a half-genie. Now, by combining our magic, we'll make you a full genie. Gasp, do you really mean it? Yes, you can stay in the genie realm and finally be with your kind. You'll be a half-genie no longer. But what about my friends and Mimic? I'll still get to see them? Genies must never interfere with the mortal world. I know you miss them, but you'll be much happier here, where there is peace and harmony. We will leave the choice up to you. I want to be a true genie more than anything, but not at the cost of my friends, which means you don't want that more than anything. Half a genie is better than none, after all. Then you will decline our gift. I'm afraid so. Then we will send you back and give you nothing. Our options are become a genie or get nothing. Is there an in-betweeny? Could you give me anything? I mean, Christ, how about a cup of coffee? Or a fiver? Or anything at all? Goddamn twits. Yeah, can I get a Happy Meal? With fries, obviously. Shantae, wake up. Are you alright? When I saw Risky's island go up in smoke, I was afraid you'd had it. Mimic, I'm sorry. I destroyed the steam engine. I had to. Don't worry about that. I guess the other world isn't ready for steam engines. I'm just glad you came back to me in one piece. Mimic, I've decided to tell the mayor that I'm not a full-fledged genie. If he's going to keep me as the town's guardian, I want him to know the truth. Alright, if you feel that strongly about it, I'll leave it to you. Hi, I'm Mayor Bumbleface. I overheard what you were talking about with Mimic. Don't worry, you've saved Scuttletown. You're our hero. Really? Yes, absolutely. I don't care if you're half genie or not. You'll always be our champion. But can I get you for half price? And remember, we're water soluble, so we just died. So Shantae committed suicide. The end. This game was draining. Like, all jokes aside, I try very hard to add some degree of levity to these, whenever I'm reviewing a bad game. This game was extraordinarily draining. Let's wrap this up. The ones I've played are much better than this, Nugget Cruncher. I honestly expected this game to suck. I'm just shocked at how bad this was. I'm legitimately shocked. about how bad this game was. Don't worry, the phone game's a real game. That's an asterisk to that. Well, I was thinking about getting something like meaty for lunch. So whatever that costs, not just don't actually do that. The end. Roddy Tops and Sky and Bolo, and for some reason the freaking Warp Squid. No, I was gonna get like a burger or something. Like I didn't have much of a breakfast, and I'm just I don't know, Crazy Norse. I might actually lay down because this. Get a Euro. I don't know if there's any Euro places around here. Oh, yeah, you know what? Hang on. Hang on. Let's end this game in the tone with which it deserves. Okay, that's not gonna help. God dang it. Okay, let's try, here. Now, I ain't gonna justify crap, but I'm gonna do the audit, because I do try to do my job. I don't know, weird. There is not, Mr. Red. Could you kill me quicker, please? Look, these are my only saves, Shadow Machine. What do you want from me? Okay, I'm just gonna stand it. I got auditing to do anyways. Do it, looks risky. I believe in you. I know, right, Nugget Cruncher? It's why I gave the music a positive, because, yeah. It's just you don't really get a chance to enjoy the damn thing. There it is. Sorry, looking something on Prototype. I've given this game 5 negatives for boss fights. Not counting the final boss. I don't like sharing that. Just for you, Mr. Red. I was actually vaguely curious if anything would be different about it, but nope. Looks like we just get our usual reward for gaming over. A sexy pirate, which honestly isn't very well drawn, if I'm being very blunt. They get a lot better drawn later. Yep, she did it. She finally murdered us. Why would she need organs? That's a good damn question, though. She needs a sandwich, I think. Or a priest. I mean... Why would she need to wear any clothes? Actually, yeah, someone that pale, she's probably gonna get sunburned to hell. Ugh. I'm just gonna... There we go. Okay. So, let me finish the audit here really quick. I'm pretty sure we're done, but I'm just going to be doing my due diligence like I always do. I mean, I don't know about you, but I would consider blue skin to be kind of pale, you know? Like this. Obviously not a lot of melanin there, so... Wouldn't you think... I don't know, maybe that's just me. I would think someone who's blue-skinned is more susceptible to sunburn than someone who's, you know... Maybe that's just me. Yep, here's that deep, insightful rumination. This game sucks! Okay, there you go. Thank God I don't do ruminations anymore. If I had to do a rumination on this, I'd just shoot myself. I'd just go buy a gun, wait 3 weeks for the paperwork to process, just sitting there in the chair the whole 3 weeks doing nothing, finally get the gun, done, dead. So yeah, I stand by this. +3 to story. Which is, better than you'd think. But at the same time, not by much. Where is... Oh my god, brain heavy. Brain go. Gameplay-wise. I mean, it kinda is. Here, you know what? Have some frickin' Mega Man music while I do this. I just bought this soundtrack, so... yes, Noctis. Here, if this will make you feel any better. Let's just nuke all of these. There you go. The score is total null. I'm not sure there is such a thing as a game that could literally get no pluses or minuses or anything. By the way, this is by Frozinth. I highly recommend their stuff. They do good stuff. Good mixes. Pong? Maybe. I don't know. I never think about that. Because I was thinking Tetris, because Tetris is still a game, right? Even like basic vanilla Tetris is still a game. And Pac-Man, you know. But if we go all the way back to Pong, yeah, that might just be a flat null. We are playing Did you know I have a website, Noctis, which keeps track of all the games I'm playing and in what order? And if you type !next into chat right now, you can get a link directly to that page. But yes, we are playing the Shantae series, all of them. All the ones that are currently out, obviously. Just spent an hour reviewing Pong. Is there anything here? No. Okay. Well, there's something sad as I'm going through the audit here, and I stand by this statement. This game controls better than Mega Man X7. Now, you know what's sadder? When did Mega Man X7 come out? I am honestly surprised no one has yet, Nugget Cruncher. I mean, I agree with what Taquita said earlier. We're firmly in the era of when a lot of studios, both game and movie and show, are just treading water when it comes to what they're pushing out. And the current strike is probably not helping anything. Does it control better than Devil May Cry 2? Actually, no. So... replayability. Moving on. Yeah, I've said this before. We peaked with bad movie ideas because they made Battleship, and they made Battleship a long time ago. We did it. We've already peaked. There's nothing worse. We have not gotten worse because they made a frickin' movie about Battleship. Oh, and it sucked. It could have been like a mindless, fun action flick. But no, it was crap. They could have done some... like, it could have been a good film, is what I'm trying to say. It could have just been like... they could have just leaned into it hard. And instead, it was just a paint-by-numbers action flick. And not even in a good way. How many of you have seen... this is an old... I think this was at the beginning days of YouTube. It might have predated YouTube. There was a few series of videos that was like, you know, we're going to make such and such the movie. And they did a Pac-Man one and they did a Tetris one. But the one I really remember most is Minesweeper. They were talking about, it was a joke, obviously it was a spoof. But they were like, there was a trailer for the Minesweeper movie. And I keep waiting for them to actually do that, unironically. I am happy that several people of you have actually heard it or have seen that trailer. That makes me happy. Can I think of a worse movie idea than Battleships, theoretically? Nope. There's a reason I say we peaked. They made a movie about battleships, Mr. Red. We did it. We're done. That's it. We peaked. Okay, so... I want to see something just really quick here while we're here. So... oh, that's impressive. So we got negative 34 to gameplay, right? To give you a bit of perspective, that is the inverse of Curse of the Moon 2. To give you an idea of how bad that is. Mega Man X1 got 39 pluses to gameplay. Mega Man 5 got 38. So it's not quite equivalent, but that's as good as this is bad. that's how bad this is. Oh my god. Okay, so it's just a utensil factory. Starring Pinky and the Brain. Don't look at me like that. It would work. It would work. I swear. Yeah, someone recommended this exact game back to me back when this game came out. And I said no for all the wrong reasons, admittedly. Because there were valid reasons to say no to this nonsense. Thank you, Takoida. Oh yeah, you know what? The Emoji Movie, which is probably... It was College Humor, I was right. The Emoji Movie is probably the worst movie I've ever seen. Like you'll notice I'm dropping the jokes. There's no humor in my tone anymore, because I legitimately think that The Emoji Movie is the worst film I've ever seen. I have seen amateur films. I have seen cheaper films. But I still think The Emoji Movie, partially because of how much money was behind it, is still a worse film. And honestly, again, we've already kind of peaked. Yeah, it's not so bad it's good. It's not, humorous. It's not something you can make fun of with a friend, like some bad things are, which is like its own little side category of bad good. It's just awful. It's just top to bottom awful. Listen, I will get you money, Desperado Joe. We will make this happen. Let me figure out how long this game was. Alright, final boss time. I gotta wrap this up before I run out of time. I think you know the answer to that, Desperado. This is a 9.41 hour game. That's honestly disgusting. Yeah, that's really long, and not in a good way. And yeah, that was blitzing while not doing side stuff, while constantly using save states, and that's still 9.5 hours long. Oh yeah, while using walkthroughs from pretty much the first dungeon onwards, or rather the second dungeon onwards. So with walkthrough, with save states, while not doing optional stuff, and that's still 9.5 goddamn hours long. I actually almost quit this game several times, Triexia. I almost put it down and said, no, I'm done. More than once. Okay. Where's the genre sheet? Where's the genre sheet? There it is. Let me populate here. We did not put up the cheat flag. Any more than we put it up for Half-Life and constantly quick saving and quick loading. It's a feature of the game. It doesn't count. That's what I thought. Damn. Alright. +3 to story. That's 0.3 story pluses per hour, and a ratio of 80%. Now you're probably thinking, oh, that's not bad, right? No, that's honestly kind of bad. Even for platformers, that's still firmly below average. That's like Mario World did better than that. You know, Mega Man 3 did better than that. That's not great. It's there. Gameplay wise. So I don't know where to say this. So negative 34 puts this at the second worst gameplay score for platformers that we've covered. That's 3.6 negatives per hour and a ratio of 11 goddamned percent. That's actually our third worst gameplay ratio of platformers, only beaten by Mummy Demastered, same developers, and, of course, Mega Man X7. Now, Mega Man X7 is hot garbage, so this game is nowhere near that. But if I could get a drum roll, please. So, give you a bit of perspective, because we already talked about like what we're aiming for here. So, Psychonauts 1... hang on, let me make sure this is in the right order. Psychonauts 1 was a negative 3.2. Mummy Demastered was a negative 16.6. Mega Man X6 was a negative 14. So that's kind of a range there at the bottom, and I'm doing this in the wrong order. There we go. So that goes Psychonauts, Mega Man X6, and then Mummy Demastered. And then, of course, Mega Man X7 trounces everything. Ladies and gentlemen, Shantae got a negative... $17.79. Obviously not even in striking distance of X7, but that actually beats everything else on the platformers. That is the second worst platformer we've ever covered. That's terrible. In terms of all games we've covered total, that makes it our 10th worst. That is 10th worst game we've ever reviewed. Oh my god, this game. Wow. I'm gonna do some paperworky stuff, and honestly, I'm gonna go lay down. I'm not actually joking. I'm not. There's no humor here. It's like, and on that button. No, I'm gonna lay the goddamn hell down. I need to recuperate after that. But before I do want to make sure I get the guessing game. I pulled it up just to make sure I don't lose it. Looks like that's gonna be Pancakes. Yep, Pancakes is gonna win that one. Does this game get the garbage tag? No. No, it doesn't. Garbage really is a special brand of awful. That, 'cause we've seen this. We've seen just how bad can get, and it really does go down from here. But this is getting the first game tag for obvious reasons. So Pancakes, you're putting that towards... give me a second, because you already put it here. Pancakes is putting it towards Lords of Magic Special Edition. What's the next one? Let me pull up my own thing here. I love it. 10th worst game we've ever reviewed. That's better than I thought it would be. That's sad. Okay, looks like Risky's Revenge is the next one. I think that's the DS one? It's all on the Switch. We're playing all of them on the Switch. That's true, Nugget Cruncher. I didn't even give Drakengard the garbage tag, I'm pretty sure. Despite how much I am not a fan of that game. Pirate's Curse. Ah, there it is. Risky's Revenge. She's fine, Dr. Winter. You can't get rid of the Joker. Oh, that's loud. I don't think I've played this one. I'm just checking something really quick here. Yeah, I know it doesn't fit. Give me a second here. So I can turn the volume back to normal. And stop being like, oh my god, my ears. So that's nice. Yeah, we've actually got resolution options and volume options. Holy crap. Pretty sure this is the DS game. I'll look into it a little bit. The sprite design is immediately a little better. Looks like it fits just fine. Once we're actually into gameplay. Yeah, no, this is DS. This looks like a DS. Notice our attack range is almost triple what it used to be, by the way. Also, enemies already drop more rupees. That's like 3 issues that the first game had fixed immediately. That's not exactly unimpressive. But yeah, looks like we'll go ahead and stream that from over here. But we'll get back to that in a bit. Like I said, I'm gonna go lay down because I need it. I'll be back at some point. And otherwise, I'll see you then.